Welcome to Us Weekly.
Thank you.
So excited to have you here and kind of talk about everything that's been going on in these jam-packed 2 episodes.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like we've packed a whole season into
2 episodes.
How does it feel for you watching it back so far?
Already,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch it back. Filming it's one thing, and watching it is a whole different element.
How did you approach this season? Did you approach it differently with one season under your belt? Did you feel more confident, more...
You do feel more confident. And the other thing is I now have more of a relationship with the women. So, I came in with Tamra and then that kind of fell to the side, but I didn't know these other women very well. Now I feel like I've had opportunity to get to know the women. So that regard was easier. And then my life kind of this year just takes a ton of turns. So then it was like living that on camera. But
So what were the solid friendships going into this season?
this season, Tamra and I were trying to move it forward. You're going to love Katie, new girl Katie.
I like her.
I got to meet Alexis. Shannon and I doing great. And then Gina and Emily. Like, I've known Gina and I really like Gina. Emily and I were a little bit, Emily was kind of hard on me.
Yeah.
And but I liked Emily. I do. And I shouldn't say liked. I respect Emily. And I was looking for like a friendship there. And so I was going into this really hoping to move something forward with Emily.
Sure. How are things with you and Tamra?
Gosh,
that's a loaded question.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's repeated patterns. It's good when it's good. She's a lot of fun, and it's really hard when it's hard.
Can you trust her?
No.
No, not at all.
Yeah, no, it's not a friend. I don't even want to just attempt that anymore. I want to see the friendship for what it is.
Yeah.
I want to see the person for who they are. And I wouldn't share anything like that.
Yeah.
Like I need to trust you situation with Tamra now.
What kind of person do you think she is then?
I think Tamra is kind of like she likes one friend at a time. When she loves you, she loves you. When she's done with you, she's done with you. And it's hard.
Yeah. Was it hard for you to see her, I don't know if she did that necessarily to Shannon, but was it hard for you to watch that friendship dissolve this season?
I think that's why I have so much sympathy for Shannon. Shannon's been attempting this friendship with Tamra longer probably than me. And so, gosh, for Shannon to be at such a point in her life where she needs women and she needs friends, yeah, that was hard to watch Tamra do that to her. And Tamra and I had talks about it.
Did you understand it at all? Do you think any of it was coming from a place where Tamra was concerned about Shannon?
Tamra makes valid points. I understand that maybe the friendship with Shannon was draining at times. I understand that maybe it wasn't reciprocated in Tamra's eyes. It's still not an excuse to like bulldoze somebody when they're down. There's a time and a place, and this wasn't it.
Do you feel like Shannon took accountability for everything that happened to her?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, she looks better than she's ever looked.
She does. She was here last week. She looks great.
Oh, you got to see Shannon.
She looks great.
She looks great. Her head's on straight.
Yeah.
She takes accountability. She'll be the first to tell you. So she's putting in the work. What else can she do?
Yeah. A lot of the women seem to have an issue with the fact that she didn't give up drinking and that she didn't go to rehab. What were your thoughts about that?
Well, she did a program.
Yeah, she did. She
did do a program. Yes. So was her program not good enough for them?
Right.
And why do they have the ability to judge that? And the drinking thing, Shannon explained it perfect to me.
Yeah.
She said there was a time period in my life that I probably leaned on alcohol to get me through some tough times, but I'm not an alcoholic. And she says now, if I want to go out and enjoy a cocktail, I'm going to go out and enjoy a cocktail, and she's doing it very responsibly.
Yeah, it seems like she's in a really good place.
She is.
And, and on top of all this, she's dealing with the whole John, Alexis. When you found out that Tamra was like liking those Instagram photos of Alexis and John and commenting on it, did that make any sense to you?
No, I was like, God, what is she, wow, what is she doing?
Yeah.
That's got to be a punch in the gut to Shannon. And you know what, Tamra and I had conversations about that as well. And it was, look, she knows Alexis. Tamra and Alexis had made amends and put a lot of stuff behind them in the past. And so I think that was Tamra trying to move forward with Alexis. And personally, I can tell you, sitting in the spot of Shannon and Alexis is hard because I got to meet Alexis this season as well. And I like her.
Yeah.
I like her. And it's very hard to be in the middle of Shannon and Alexis.
Yeah. Did you find by the end of the season that you had to pick a side? Did either one of them ever put you in that position?
No, and I hope they don't. Because their problems are not my problems. I can be sympathetic and empathetic to it. I can't imagine for Shannon what it must be like filming with her ex's new person, and I can't imagine for Alexis. And then you add legal issues. So I understand that it's hard, but I love them both as women, and I hope they allow me to stay in that position.
Yeah, it was hard, like in this episode, to watch Alexis kind of talk so openly about her relationship with John in front of, in earshot of Shannon. Do you feel like she was almost doing that on purpose?
Come on, Alexis is a little bit in Alexis's world.
Okay.
And I really don't think she has a mean intention ever.
Okay.
But come on, read the room, baby. Like, we don't need to hear, Shannon for sure doesn't need to hear about sexual things or the new ring or all all the things that John and Alexis are up to. I don't know if Alexis does that intentionally. I think she's just Alexis.
Okay. What is the difference between a promise ring and a promised ring?
Don't know.
Yes.
I think he's promising to be around. He promised to love her. I don't know. Yeah. I think it's just all the things that we can all imagine a promise ring to be.
Sure. I feel like when we first heard about this relationship, the term love bombing was thrown around a lot. Do you, now that you know Alexis, do you think that John is?
I've spent time with John and Alexis, and they love each other. I'm telling you, they're on the fast track to forever.
Okay.
Truly. They really are. And I know that's hard for Shannon. Shannon says, you know what? It's not about John. And I'm glad to hear that because I think it's just all the talk and hurt and pain and legalities. But John and Alexis are a really cool couple.
Is he a better boyfriend to Alexis than he was to Shannon?
It seems like it.
Is he a different person?
When you find the right person, I think we kind of become a better person because we are who we are and we're happy and we're comfortable and we're settled. And he seems that way.
Do you think that's going to be hard for Shannon to hear?
Yeah, I do.
Have you had those conversations with her, or is it something?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Shannon will say, it's not about John. It's not even about anybody. She's like, you know what? I'm not even looking to date. Because we're all like, Shannon, get out there, girl. You look so darn good. And she's like, I don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't need him. I don't need it. Let him be the best version of himself with her. He and Shannon were not. They didn't complement each other. And so let him go be a better version with Alexis. And she's going to find somebody.
Sure. Oh, she will. She definitely will. Yeah. Does the Alexis Shannon thing go on throughout the course of the season? I know when Shannon was saying that, Alexis kind of threatened this big truth bomb about her and things like that. So that kind of manifests over the course of the season. Yeah,
it's a part of our season, the whole season. And I have said I don't know what it would take. Alexis and I have had conversations about, could you just step back? Could you, pump the brakes on all of it? She'll say yes, but Shannon has to stop. But Shannon will say, they have to stop. And I think they're in this kind of a vicious cycle right now.
Sure, yeah. So the well-wish of the year for Alexis to be friends with.
It was really awesome that Alexis, put that out there. But stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay
tuned. This episode is hard for you to probably watch back with everything going on with the rent, with Gina, everything like that. Let's start with Gina.
Go for it, yep.
Were you surprised at the type of reaction she had to your situation, knowing what she's been through in the past as well?
Yeah, I was surprised. And it's interesting because I say that I wasn't looking for sympathy, and I don't think I wanted sympathy, but I thought for sure there'd be empathy there. Yeah. And I thought, I do need to have this conversation with her. I thought it would be sit down, Gina, I am so sorry that it was a mess. I thank you so much for helping me and the kids. And then I thought it'd be two women talking about I've been there and you're going to get through it, and Jen, and it just wasn't. I was a little blindsided.
Right. I mean, reaction when you heard her that she called you stupid, a ding dong, and to kind of get your life together. What do you think her goal was in that conversation with you?
Well, her mindset is, you don't pay anything. Why do you not know? Gosh, do you know what in the last 3 years of my life I've learned? Do you know what I have discovered? I mean, you know how hard it is to know car payments aren't being paid. Do you know how hard it is to learn these things? And I've been a stay-at-home mom for 19 years. So am I gonna put my big girl panties on and work? Yes. Do I need a minute? Because I gotta figure this out. Sure. I have 5 kids. And so being told I'm dumb at this point in my life, it just felt like a mean dig.
Yeah. like kind of kick me when I'm
Yeah,
down
like
type of
it's
thing.
unnecessary.
Do you feel like you ruined her reputation at all? Yeah.
I don't. And I would only like support. I'm so proud of Gina, you know, and what she has done. She's young. She's killing it. She's providing for her and those kids. And so I don't. And you know, the second I started understanding like something's up, like my ex and I had nested always since our separation. He handled all the expenses, all of our expenses. And so when I start picking up like something's going on, my ex is going through something, the owner of the home and I were talking all the time, and we're still amazing to this day. So I didn't even think it was going to be a negative reflection on Gina.
Sure. So was your ex supposed to be paying those monthly payments and you were just unaware of what was going on? Is that, okay.
So he paid our rent, he paid everything. We had talked like, okay, the job, if I get the job, I was going to contribute. And the job was Bravo, but we hadn't had contracts yet.
Got it.
So I was like, of course, if I do that, then I will totally help with rent or expenses or whatever we had talked about. And so, and you know, at that time, our arrangement was truly I had a debit card. And it's like, if I need gas, I text him, can you move money? I need groceries, can you move money? And so I don't know if people understand, like it was not a situation where I was sitting on all this money and just being like, I'm gonna go get my hair done.
Yeah.
It was not like
the
that.
funds were there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you were like, oh my God, what am I going to do
What am
with
I going to
myself
do?
and all these kids?
And you know, the owner of the home was like, it was right around Christmas.
Sure.
And so we were having a conversation, and she said, look, get through Christmas. I know you and the kids. And I said, thank you so much for that. And then it was right around New Year's that we were all, my dad, Ryan, what are we going to do? How much has not been paid? And then rent was due on the 5th. And I was sitting there going, this is what we owe, and I owe another $12,000. And I asked the owner, I said, what if I get these kids and I out before the 5th? And she's like, okay, don't worry about it. And I moved in 4 days.
Sure.
And we went to Ryan's.
Yeah. And how has that been?
It was
there?
an adjustment. We're still there, and it's amazing now. It was an adjustment period. For Ryan, for me, even though we were almost 4 years in, we're blending a big family and animals and all the things. And so Ryan is very structured, and I learned I was very, like, I did everything for the kids. And so Ryan's made me a little more structured. I've made Ryan a little more loose, and we are totally settling in now. But I would be lying if I said there wasn't a time period. We all needed to, like, settle into what we felt in the beginning was Ryan's home, but now we feel like we're all home.
Good. Did it ever put a strain on the relationship at all?
Yeah. He had to have some mom talks with me.
Yeah.
And that, like, it's like, you're not going to talk to me as a
Sure,
mom. You're
yeah.
not going to talk to me as a mom. And then when I let it sink in, like, you know, why are the kids not helping with the trash? Why am I picking up everyone's laundry? There's so many people in this house. Little things where I'm like, you know what? You just made my life so much easier. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good. And things are settled with your ex now, right?
Divorce was final on the 11th.
Okay.
And I just keep saying, I hope now we move forward.
Sure. Are you happy with how everything turned out?
I'm happy that that tie is now not between us, and you know, it kept Ryan and I tied to it. It kept Will and I tied to one another, and I know he's so happy, and I know he and his girlfriend, wife, I know they want to move forward. We want to do the same, and so peace, right?
Peace,
Let's. I'm just ready for peace. with all of it.
Co-parenting piece too, is that?
I need co-parenting peace. We are not.
You're not there. Yeah. But they say, I feel like every time, you know, you talk to people and they say that it's bad, you know, time heals everything, and hopefully.
I hear that too.
Yeah.
And I so hope that. It's weird. I know this is an odd statement to make. It's like he still feels like family to me.
Yeah.
And my family was Will's family. And my family still loves him too.
Yeah.
And we would embrace, I mean, his girlfriend was a friend of mine. I've known her for so long. So it's like, come on, like, let's like
get on the same page.
Get on the same page.
Does he still work for it? He worked for the family.
He worked for the family. He does not anymore.
He does not anymore. Okay.
He's doing his own thing, and to be honest, I don't really know what it is.
Okay.
But the kids tell me, I'll say, how's dad? They say he's great.
Yeah.
He's a good dad. So that's all I can hope for. Yep.
Yeah. And so are you working at doing the yoga and everything as well?
Doing the yoga, still doing
good.
that. Working on a fitness thing with a friend. She's we're doing like a little thing together, and I'm just still like, we're just the studio.
Powering through.
We're powering through.
And you're planning a wedding.
And well, we're planning a wedding. People keep asking, like, what's the plan with the wedding? We're like so engaged that we forget, like, oh, there should be a wedding at the end of this. So the trip I told you about with the Bahamas and the kids, we do it every summer.
Nice.
And we're going to load those kids up next summer, and my family, and that's probably
That's where the
exactly what we'll
wedding's
do
gonna
on the
happen.
beach or something.
That's great. Well, that's where the engagement took place.
It's exactly
Yep.
it.
So it's a place that's really special.
Oh, we love
to
it
the two
so
of
much.
you.
It's like our happy place.
Yeah. How's because I know obviously things have happened since the engagement and
Yes.
news has broken. Has that put a damper on things? Has this changed things for you?
Does it put a damper on
Yeah.
things? I mean, we were like in such a high,
Sure, yeah.
being engaged and like taking the step and moving in. And then, are you talking about I'm assuming the news
Yes.
and all the that broke, and then it was like, oh my gosh. And Ryan and I knew about this. Was not like shocking to Ryan and I. These are our dear friends, and they're really going through this. But we were shocked that Ryan got looped into it.
Okay.
And so that was scary.
Yeah.
Like, wow, like, now what do we do? What does
do?
this even mean? You know, and I remember my mom and dad were in France and on a boat, and I'm like, wow, my parents are calling, and they're like, Jen, is Ryan okay? Are you and the kids okay? Is Ryan, you know, having any issues?
Sure.
And the world got very scary for a moment, but you know, you watch it play out. Ryan has no involvement.
Okay.
He's fine. We're fine, and it's really just loving and supporting our friends who are genuinely going
through it. So you're not worried about him in the future involved in this
Not at all.
Okay. And so everything's good.
Everything is good.
Yeah. Were you surprised that because cameras picked back up once this happened? Because this was obviously a big story. Were you surprised about who was there for you and not there for you during this time?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was. This was huge.
Yeah.
And you know what? I heard from all the ladies. They all sent me a text. I did not hear from Emily, and I didn't hear from Tamra. Tamra, I didn't expect to hear from Tamra.
Sure, yeah.
And then I got together with Gina and Katie. And you know what I appreciated so much is they were like, if you read it as a friend, you'd be like, girl,
Sure.
we got to talk to you.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Is this good? Do you really want to do this? But they loved me enough to let me talk it through with them. And then they were like, oh, okay.
We get it.
And so I got to see Gina and Katie and have we were all very real hard conversation, but they had concern.
Yeah,
and
of
I
course.
don't blame them.
So things come back around with you and Gina then?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
How did you guys get there then?
Because Gina's cool.
Yeah.
We've done this before. Gina gets, she gets heated, and you are not going to come after hers and when she felt that in that moment, she felt that.
Yeah.
But she's a good girl because she'll come back. She allowed us to have a conversation of where I was, where she was, what she needed from me, what I missed from her. And I just respect that out of her so much.
Ryan got a lot of heat last season, and I'm sure he's going to get a lot of heat again this season too. Did it ever cross your mind, I don't know if this is for me anymore, or were you always...
Ryan?
Yeah, with Ryan. Do you always just stand by him?
Never.
Yeah.
It was never one time for me. First season, maybe for a moment, because I was letting some of that creep in, and I was taking it home. But I learned.
Yeah.
I know who my man is, and I know who we are. And then this whole thing this season, I actually feel bad.
Yeah.
Because had I not been on a platform where his name was recognized, we wouldn't even be hearing about Ryan.
Yeah. So it was all just a big misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just who our best friends are and who we love.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But like you said, things are going well with the wedding planning,
Yes.
moving full steam
Yes.
ahead. Are the kids very excited? about
Kids
you
are
guys
so
Yeah.
so excited. I was laughing because my daughter, she wants to be like bridesmaid and maid of honor and party planner and all the things. And my boys are like, just when are we going back to the Bahamas?
Sure, yeah.
Whatever you and Ryan want to go do.
Whatever. Call us when you're ready.
Call us when we're going back to Bahamas.
Yeah.
And then my mom, she's just every day like, when are we going?
I love
they're
that.
they're so supportive,
That's
and
great.
everybody is really in a good spot.
That's awesome. How are
Thankfully.
you and Vicky this season? Because there was a little dicey last
It
season.
was dicey. I like Vicky.
Good.
I like Vicky. Vicky, I didn't know this. She's a girl's girl.
Yeah.
She will
She likes to whoop it up.
She whoops it up. She's fun, and she doesn't really like the. She's open to have any conversation, but she doesn't really like the mean girl stuff. And I like that about Vicky.
Yeah. Do you think that she should be back full-time housewife?
Oh gosh, she's iconic. Of course,
is.
she is.
Yeah, we saw some other crossovers. We have Sutton coming in this season.
I know.
You have Teddy Mellencamp, Joe De La Rosa.
Yes.
So what was it like? I don't know if you had any moments, maybe not with Sutton, but with Teddy and Joe.
I don't know Sutton. Katie loves Sutton. Speaks so highly of her. Teddy was fun.
Yeah.
She was really fun, and I enjoyed her the night that we filmed with her. And who else was it? Oh, Joe. What a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I mean, I don't know what I expected, but she was she was so kind.
That's good. You mentioned that Emily didn't reach out before, so I'm guessing that things aren't great with her.
You know what? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know there was a problem. Emily, I think I've just viewed as not an equal. And so maybe there's just not time or space for me. I don't know. That is how I feel with Emily. And I know that after all this happened with Ryan, I know there was like her and Tamra kind of led the charges from what I understand of like a lot of talk and things like that. And, you know, it's unfortunate. I say it doesn't surprise me with Tamra. I would have liked a conversation with Emily because she's a clear-headed, smart one.